Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Eagles World. I am Fazil Amin Beg. We are fortunate to have with us a distinguished scholar and a guest from Tajikistan, particularly from University of Central Asia. So he has his PhD from Humboldt University, Berlin, Germany, and his master's degree from the Institute for the Study of Muslim Civilization, Aga Khan University, United Kingdom. Currently, he is serving University of Central Asia as an assistant professor in cultural studies within humanities and social sciences. Though he has his extensive field studies and exposure to the West too, with regard to his studies. So let's hope for the best that we could learn out of his experiences and out of his acquired knowledge on the subject matter. So Dr. Chorshambe Ghoyibnazarov is basically from the Pamir region, or from the Badakhshan Autonomous Oblast was famous earlier, particularly during the time of the former Soviet Union. So we'll see that how he could analyze the situation of his country with Pakistan as he has come here for a visit, for a short survey. I won't like to talk more and take your time. Rather, I would request Dr. Chorshambe Ghoyibnazarov that if he could kindly tell us about his trip to Pakistan, and along with that, how he had thought about his trip, and then how he found, in reality, the people and the region here. What were the motivations that brought you to Pakistan, and particularly to Hunza Valley and Gilgit-Baltistan?
All right, thank you so much, Fazlamin, for kind of welcoming me in his own warmly and way. That's kind of very heartwarming for me, especially. My motivation, actually, it was my life dream to come to this part of the world and to see my Wakhi brothers and sisters. But it never happened because of many reasons. But and I was so lucky to be involved in this project that we are doing right now.
What is that project? Would you like to tell us a bit?
It's about the establishing kind of network through looking at the heritage of the mountains region.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a part of different the collaboration between Lajvard organization and University of Central Asia.
Wow.
So that is what we are going to came here to work with community-based organizations and also other communities institutions that are running in the rural areas, and their activities, and so their contributions, also their challenges and opportunities that they think that might have in regard to their work.
All right. So, being an ethnomusicologist, as you have your PhD in ethnomusicology from Germany and your Post Doctoral Fellowship from Harvard University, when you collect all those your academic endeavors, and when you're back to your the field studies in Pakistan, and more particularly in Gilgit-Baltistan region, and within Hunza Valley, how do you see both the academic endeavors and the knowledge, and then having the field study and the applied side, applied side of your study?
I mean, regarding my background, I'm actually not. I do not have a degree in ethnomusicology, but I have a degree in anthropology.
Wow.
Cultural anthropology.
Cultural anthropology.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Sorry, I didn't know about it.
Yeah. So, but my interest is in music studies, and I focus on traditional music. Basically, my work was related to the music in Badakhshan of Tajikistan, where I was looking at the religious music genre and how that has been traditionally performed and continued, and also the changes that are part of this particular genre. Regarding my work or my field work here in Pakistan, I see in terms of folk music, I mean, there are many genres of music, but they are not as developed or as performed in a way that is, for example, performed or practiced in Tajikistan. Tajikistan, especially, we have like the music conservatory that is also gives attention or deals these musical folk music or traditional music are actually taught at the institutional level. Where in Pakistan I didn't see that. Even when I asked some of the students who graduated in musicology from these institutions where they study music, they also mentioned that they don't study the folk music as part of their curriculum. So that's one thing that I was really surprised, but then of course there are many reasons in relation to that why it was not studied. And also I was shocked actually to meet musicians, in particular not to Wakhi but in other region, where they talk about the music, but they kind of seem to be really hopeless, that they don't want even to continue this particular musical heritage, or don't want even their next generation to practice that particular music. So that's kind of for me it was really kind of a shocking sort of experience that this beautiful music is kind of going to die. So that's one thing here.
Yeah, you were mentioning about the Dumaki language and the music.
Yes.
That was. Are you referring towards that, or?
Yes, that's what I'm referring to.
Okay. In Mominabad. Yeah, that's true. Very shocking.
Yeah.
What kind of similarities and differences you found between the Wakhi communities of Hunza Valley and your own valley, Wakhan Valley of Tajikistan?
Well, I mean, there are many differences. I mean, even though we have so many commonalities, but there are so many differences in terms of, like food culture, in terms of, dressing as well, in terms of, music as well, in terms of language differences. There are many differences. Even the landscape, even though it is similar, but I found the mountains so higher than the mountains are in Wakhan, Tajikistan. So that is another kind of differences that I saw. But there are so many other differences that the structure of the house as well.
Is that?
Yeah, so we have a kind of a little bit different structure, the interior of the house.
Yeah.
Then
do you have the 3 platforms internally?
I mean,
Within the traditional Wakhi house?
no. So that is like, you know, this section which is like flattened, where you have the place where you make the fire, sort of things. I find that a bit different from what we have back in Tajikistan.
So these days, when you see, for example, we call it the dildung. So do you have the dildung there?
Yeah, we have the dildung, but in many new houses, the dildung is removed because of many reasons.
The hearth area.
Yes. And they have shifted the dildung to a separate room
In
from the
Tajikistan?
house. Yeah, but in many new houses.
New houses.
But not the old ones.
How is it here?
Here is I think it's the same, but instead of the roof,
The hearth, yeah?
Yeah, roof, they have these metal sort of
Yes. Yeah, stove, yeah.
Yeah, the stove in there, instead of, you know, the traditional roof in that particular inside the house.
How do you see, in comparison, you know, the different cultural communities, though in broader context there are many similarities, but anyway, I should say, how did you find, you know, the language communities within Hunza Valley as you were in the field, the Dumaki language speakers, the Burushaski language speakers, and then, you know, here the Wakhi.
Yeah, I think that the Burushaski is more dominant than the others, because of the, you know, when we were in Karimabad, you know, in other places. But many people speak Urdu as the state language and official language. So that is a kind of lingua franca between the other
language
ethnic groups. It's like in Tajikistan we have the Tajiki or Russian as a lingua franca. So here is like the Urdu and English. But in the Hunza Valley, I think it's in the area where I've been, the Burushaski seems to be the dominant one. Even like, you know, as I said, like the Domaki people, they don't even, you know, I just spoken that they even don't speak the language anymore because of, you know, they're like kind of stigmatized.
True. Socially and
politically, and yeah. So that was very interesting for me to kind of, you know, figure out. But in terms of the Wakhi community, I think they're really sort of developing their language, and they are also, you know, into many activities so that their language should survive. Anyway, there are so many things that they are doing in activities.
How do you see it comparatively, the language preservation and promotion aspect of Tajikistan, the Wakhi community of Tajikistan and Wakhi community of Pakistan, and particularly in Hunza Valley?
Yeah, I mean, here the one interesting is that here is the freedom of activities are seen more compared to Tajikistan. So you can publish whatever you want to, but we have some restrictions, so that's why it's kind of slow movement. But we also do have many publications; they are ongoing, but still we also need some kind of, you know.
So you have there the Cyrillic script, you know, which is used for publication for the Wakhi language, and here you found out that the Romans are there.
Yeah. And in Tajikistan they use the Cyrillic, but so that is now kind of, I would say it's standardized, because many people now use it and speak it, and there's a lot of video materials that they teach people how to write, like certain words, like for example, je and re, je and dre. So these kind of things are in kind of video materials are given by the scholars or the linguists to people to kind of learn the language or properly write in the language.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saab. And one thing more, for example, before coming here, you had your dream to come to Pakistan. What kind of dreams were there, and what kind of things you found in reality? That is a big question.
I mean, yeah, that's a big question. I mean, I wanted to do comparative studies, right, between the Wakhis in Pakistan and Wakhi in Tajikistan. And I think to some extent my dream came true, because now I can see things, I saw things in my own eyes. And
Realistically, you could
realistically see it. And now I have developed so many ideas for further, projects and studies. So it's kind of a very good impression that I got.
Okay. Yeah. Without taking further time, because you are so much exhausted for the whole day, and now it's going midnight. Yeah. So would like to thank you once again. But before ending it up, would request you, if you have any kind of message to the viewers and also to the respective language communities.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I came here, and I'm very, very, very grateful to the people in Hunza, especially the Wakhi community, to receiving me so warmly and respectfully. And I was like, kind of, so happy and so touched by the warm welcome that it's very difficult for me kind of to express it. It's in that level that emotionally it drove me. My happiness is beyond kind of expression, and I'm just thanking deeply everyone, every member of the community, for their this warm welcoming. Thank you.
That is your kindness, but as far as I could understand, the things which we ought to do, we were supposed to do, we couldn't do it because you have very short, your schedule just for 1 week or so, and then we do apologize that, well, we couldn't extend, the hospitality or the welcome, which I could see comparatively when late Professor Dr. Barshaw, Lashkar had come here. That was something beyond imagination, because for the first time a Wakhi scholar had come, and then the program was within my hand in that respect. I was coordinating it, representing my university, Qaidazm University, and here we didn't want to interrupt in your schedule because that was already planned. Yeah. So, but we hope that next time when you will come, that will be somehow independent, and then you will enjoy more here. Yeah. So that is important.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.